Hi, good morning. I'm Anna Carson, kinesiologist from Demineralized Wellbeing, and today I'm in conversation with Meliors, and we're going to be talking about the importance and the need for us to be really connected and grounded to Earth.
So I'm Meliors and I am the Holistic Tooth Fairy. I help people heal and prevent tooth decay and gum disease with natural, intuitive and self-help strategies. So Anna, what do you mean when you talk about connecting to Earth?
Well, I mean, a lot of us have kind of, heard about grounding and our need to really be, it's about this giving and receiving to Earth. It's about our relationship with Earth. So many of us have become quite disconnected. We live in these worlds where we're not out in nature much, and we're wearing shoes, and we're driving in cars, and we're not gardening, and we're not growing our own veggies, and so we become disconnected to Earth. But we really, we are physical beings, and we come from this earth, and so we need to be grounded and we need to be connected. And this is exactly that. It's being out in nature, being able to receive all the energy and the nourishment that Earth can give us, and also about giving. Looking after the Earth. Really kind of having our hands and our feet in the earth. When we ground, if we go to the beach, or we do gardening, or we walk barefoot on the grass, these things, if we really connect in, they can really nourish our souls. And so it is so important for us for so many reasons.
So what are some of the effects that you see on people who aren't connected well to Earth?
A lot of people who aren't connected, you can tell they're in the head. Everything comes from the head. It's all overthinking, over-analyzing. They're not feeling into their bodies. They're not feeling into their heart. It all becomes an almost theoretical kind of decision making and that sort of thing. So that's often a sign of anxiety. These kind of upward, I always kind of think of this upward kind of thing. It is very much to do with being disconnected, and even things like not being able to gain the nourishment from the earth. So, I've had some clients who actually aren't even getting the nutrients from fruit and vegetables. They're that disconnected. And this disconnection can happen for so many reasons. There can be trauma, where things have been really difficult. A lot of us have kind of gone, God, I wish I wasn't here anymore. When things are really tough, and it's just like, I've had enough. Like these things can actually start to disconnect us from Earth, because there's a part of us that actually just is finding it too hard to be here. But it can also link back to times in utero or as a baby, and this journey down from spirit. We come from spirit, we come from bliss, we come from universal love, and as we come into physical, we start to be aware of how a lot of people and adults or whatever aren't connected to that love, aren't connected to that bliss, and that can be a real shock, especially for babies, and who are still so connected and still remember kind of being back in source, or have that strong connection, and that can be a real shock. And so that then kind of goes, it's, again, this, I always do this when I'm kind of disconnected, but it's kind of, there's something, it's really hard to be here, when there isn't this love, and there isn't this this sense and this connection to this universal love. And again, what I've found with clients, when we've gone back into reasons why they're disconnected, then it can be things like trauma that's happened in utero, or when there's been heavy emotions going on while the mother's been pregnant, or even birth. Birth can be such a traumatic experience for coming fully into the physical realm, and that again can cause this disconnection. There's lots of different reasons why we can be disconnected.
Yeah, I think I see that sometimes in some of my clients who their teeth are quite demineralized, and minerals are from the earth, and I think that part of their inability to access minerals from the food that they're eating, from the plants and the vegetables and fruit and the animal products, those minerals, if they're in the foods, aren't able to be processed in their body because of a lack of grounding. Well, that's part of the reason. It's obviously not all of it, and it's not true for everyone, but it is something that I observe. So what's the role of grounding in the idea of embodiment that you just mentioned before?
Yeah, I mean, embodiment is really about there's so many words, I guess, or things around embodiment, but I guess I see it as about this really coming down and living living what we're meant to be, living our true selves, and bringing in, whatever energy, connection, source, whatever you want to call it, bringing that in. But to truly do that, to truly be embodied, part of it is to be connected to earth. It's almost like we have to be this channel from this connection to source down to earth, and because we receive the energy from both. And I know that you've just recently done some Reiki training and stuff like that, and that importance of not only connecting to the energy above, but also to make sure you're connected to the energy below, to Mother Earth. And if with that, then we can start to be that channel. Where otherwise sometimes you can, if some work and stuff is too esoteric, it kind of is up here and there's nothing grounding it into the physical, that everything, it can get kind of flighty, and you're kind of and you can see people who are kind of up here. And that's because their work or whatever they're doing is becoming too esoteric, and it needs to be grounded. And I think that's one of the things that when I'm working, I always ensure we're also working in the physical, because we are physical. We're human beings. We're having a physical experience here, and so everything has to be grounded in the physical too. So that is really important for us all. Even for bringing in our gifts and all these sorts of things, to be grounded helps us then to embody. So it's being grounded is part of the embodiment process, but it's not fully. But I don't think that we can fully embody if we're not grounded, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And I was really picking up on what you were saying about having to have both the energies, the emotion and the intellect, but also the body and the physical. And and I can't separate them out when I work with people in the holistic teeth healing. We've got to do both. They've got to have the idea, the intention of healing their teeth, as well as the good diet and the looking after the skeletal part of it, relaxing the jaw to allow healing, and to deal with the emotional aspects of. And there's so many emotions tied up with teeth and gums, and it comes on in so many levels, from the ancestral to your own early experiences to the things that don't seem connected with teeth at all, but because of, it's almost like our teeth embody emotions. These because they're such a solid seeming and long-lasting part of our body, they hold these memories and these emotions in a physical form, and so that's part of the healing process too.
100%. It's like, they can be real mirrors, can't they? You can use them as real doorways and mirrors into what's going on, and like you say, when you relate them to the different meridians and the emotions, and there's so much that you can read from your teeth and gums and your whole oral kind of makeup. So I think you're exactly right. It's so important. We mentioned this a little bit before in the last video of just we can't just heal on the physical. We need to look at the emotional, but then on the other side, we can't just heal on the emotional and forget about the physical. It really has to be both, or the spiritual. We can't just look at all the spiritual stuff and not look how that's affecting our physical body. And it's really marrying these and knowing that we're working on all of these levels at the same time, or we're at least doing different work that works on each individual layer, if that's how it is. But it is really important to do all of it. And again, you're just talking about this giving and receiving, as well. I think this is such an important cycle for us all to be so aware of, with Mother Earth. And also, she's also very willing to take a lot of our, the stuff we want to get rid of, all the emotions, all the, whatever it is that we're needing to get rid of, all the old patterns. I always, when I'm talking to clients and we're doing some letting go, is sending it down. You're sending it down, and she's happy to take that. Mother Earth will happy to take that. She can transform that, and then, but if we enter into that giving, receiving cycle with her. And same, we're giving love to her by, attending to her and being very aware of how we're living on this earth. But also we can then gain the nourishment from that and the energy that she gives. So I think that's such an important aspect of the whole, and in our psyche, knowing that we're giving and receiving, and we need to give and receive in equal measure. I think it's a really important thing for all of us to learn. So many, especially women, are such givers. We give, and we don't receive so well. But we need to learn to do that so that it all becomes equal, and we can sustain ourselves. So
So one of the there's a little kind of visualization that I share with some of my clients about imagining that you're drawing up minerals out of the earth, and that they're being processed through your body and going into your jawbone and into the roots of your teeth, and like being soaked up. So you're imagining those minerals going into those body parts and bolstering them and supporting them and making them stronger, because our cells actually are always responding to information. That's what switches them on and off. And some of that information comes from nutrients, from the environment, and time of day and sunshine and whatever, but it also comes from our thoughts and our feelings. And so that's an area where we can consciously contribute to the good functioning of our bodies, and in my case in particular, teeth and gums. And I know you do similar things in your work.
Yeah, very much so. Again, like I said, the visualization of letting go and giving away, but then also of drawing in, and you're really imagining how your body is reacting, and making new neural pathways. That's very much, with the eye tracking that I do at end of sessions, we're making a new neural pathway, but we have to then solidify that. We have to then continue that on, and that is when we have to then make these conscious decisions to make changes, so that we're literally changing, and being consciously aware of patterns where we had slipped into old patterns, of changing them, so that you are, like you say, that using your thoughts, using your consciousness to create these changes, physically and everything else. And imagine, if you can imagine these things happening first before we're even doing them, then we're halfway there. I mean, I think we were saying about what can people do to really start to connect themselves, and we've talked a few things, these visualizations and stuff like that, being able to just get out into nature as much as you can, connecting in with the trees and the grass and the sand on the beach, and even just I'd mentioned this a while back, but I'm doing pineal gland sun gazing. Can really help to just bring that energy from the sun in, and then sending that down your body and down into earth. So you're starting that channel. That's a lovely, really lovely way of kind of opening up that channel, and it helps the body to relax, and receiving and letting go is another, you know, lovely thing to do. And I think one of the other ones I also do, or also mention to people, is connecting in with the Schumann resonance and the geomagnetic resonance, which are vibrations of the earth. And you can Google them, but they're vibrations, but those can also really help to connect into the energy of the earth as well.
I think we're going to have a whole nother conversation.
I know.
Just about the resonances, because I think they're so wonderful. And I don't really understand them.
I thought that as I was talking, I was just like, oh, I'm opening up another box.
We will be back for more. But we better call this to a close. It's been lovely talking to you today, Anna.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Melia.
All right then. Bye-bye.
Bye.